Yogiram Sratkumar, Yogiram Sratkumar, Yogiram Sratkumar, Jayaguru Raya. யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார் என்கிற அற்புத மந்திரத்தால் ஒன்றுபட்டு இருக்கும் அகிலமெங்கும் உள்ள யோகி அன்பர்களை மாம்பலம் யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார் சத்சங் வரவேற்பதில் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறது. இன்று 93வது யோகி நாம யக்ன பெருநாளில் பகவானுடைய அற்புதமான மகிமைகளை நம்மிடையே பகிர்வதற்கு வருகை தந்துள்ள மரியாதைக்குரிய திரு டாக்டர் ஏஜி ரமேஷ் அவர்களை மாம்பலம் யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார் சத்சங் அன்புடன் வரவேற்கிறது. டாக்டர் அவர்கள் சென்னை துறைமுகத்தில் சீனியர் மெடிக்கல் ஆபீசராக பணியாற்றி ஓய்வு பெற்றவர். தற்பொழுது அத்வைத பிலாசபியும் படித்து வருகிறார். சிங்கேரி சாரதா பீடத்தின் பரம பக்தரான இவர் சிங்கேரியிலும் அதனை சுற்றியுள்ள கிராமங்களிலும் 150க்கும் மேற்பட்ட இலவச மருத்துவ முகாம் நடத்தியுள்ளார். பல கிராம மக்களுக்கு நிறைய மருத்துவ உதவிகள் மற்றும் இலவச கண் பரிசோதனைகள் செய்துள்ளார். கடந்த 15 வருடங்களாக சென்னையில் அபினவ பாரதி சத்சங் நிகழ்ச்சிகளை அற்புதமாக நடத்தி கொண்டு வருகிறார். சென்னை அடியாரில் உள்ள இவரது பிரபலமான ஸ்ரீ அபினவாஸ் ஐ கேர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் ஸ்பெஷல் ஐ சர்ஜனாக பணியாற்றி வருகிறார். டாக்டர் அவர்கள் நம் பகவானை பல முறை நேரில் தரிசித்த பாக்கியம் பெற்றவர். பகவானுடைய ஆசீர்வாதத்தால் பல அற்புதங்களை அனுபவித்துக் கொண்டிருப்பவர். டாக்டர் அவர்களின் தெய்வீக அனுபவங்களை கேட்பதற்கு மாம்பலம் யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார் சத்சங்க அன்பர்கள் அனைவரும் மிகவும் ஆர்வமாக இருக்கின்றோம். யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார், யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார், யோகிராம் ஸ்ரத்குமார், ஜெயகுரு ராயா.
Namaskaram. I am very grateful to the Mambalam Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Satsang for having invited me to give my experiences with our Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Swamiji. Generally, I have the pleasure of calling him as Visri Baba. That is the affection which we have developed. And I am very thankful to Vishwanath ji for having joined in our satsang meetings. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Joined with our satsang meetings, and we had the pleasure of being associated with him to Sringeri Yatra. We had about 80 to 90 people, and he joined the group. Then when he came to Mangalore, I learned that his wife also has joined. And when she came to Sringeri, the Vishwanath was so kind and so nice to his wife. I was able to get a wheelchair for him, and he was doing a comfortable service, a great husband to his wife. And all the 85 people were spellbounded. He was wheeling the chair from one temple to another temple, from the deity to another deity. And we went to Mahasanidhanam's place, that is Guru Bhavanam, where Acharyal called him separately, cutting off the queue, and blessed him with the Bhikshavandanam Prasadam with a gold coin, and to his missus a beautiful sari. And of course, we all went in the queue, and each one of us were given the Prasadam of silver coin and sari to the ladies. I really appreciate Mr. Vishwanathan for having taken care of his wife, and all of us were spellbound for his affection to his wife. May Lord Saraswati, may Acharyal bless him with all happiness, prosperity, and tranquility. My pranams to all of you. Before I start this small discussion.
Excuse me, sir. So, camera konjam face theriyala unga face. Konjam. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And I may be using sometimes Tamil here and there. My knowledge in Tamil is little poor, so please pardon me. Before that, I have a small prayer. I have my pranams to my parents for having brought me up into this spiritual line, and I bow down with respect to the lotus feet of Mahasanidhanam Sri Bharati Tirtha Swamiji and Sri Vidushekara Bharati Swamiji for having guided me in this field. Of course, my great Shashtanga Namaskaram to Swami Yogi Ram Surat Babaji. So we call him as Visri Baba. I had the blessed opportunity to take his blessings and guidance. He also advised so many things. Will you please cut off other mics, please? Okay, shall I go ahead?
Already muted, sir.
Shall I go ahead?
Yes.
So we had the blessed opportunity to seek his blessings, and I had the opportunity to visit him 4 times to Tiruvannamalai. Now, I was just pondering in my mind. Let me give a small note to the respected satsang members here. And I also owe to my teacher, Mr. C.L. Ramakrishnan, a retired IPS officer who has given me some knowledge into the spiritual level, which I was drifting away from the knowledge of spiritualism. Before we go that, we should know what is the purpose of this human life. This all life form in this universe is for what? For eating? Reproduction? No. It is to survive. Survival is the instinct for all creatures, all living creatures, and that also for our human being. Amidst from the small organisms, we have come into multicellular organisms, which we call as human being. Now, this human body is also formed by one touch of the divine grace. There are 3 touches of divine grace in our life. The first touch, to be born as human being, itself is a grace of the Lord. Now, if there is no divine touch for that species, that human body will not be achieved. Now, to get this human body, we have come from a long way, very long way, from a small cell to this multicellular body. And so, what is this difference between this animal and a man? The human being has got the pain and pleasure. Yes, animal also has got pain and pleasure. But man or human being has an imaginative power. He can imagine so many things. He can create ideas, review the ideas, retain the ideas, implement it, action it. But there's no imagination in the case of animal's mind. So they only respond to reflex. So the purpose of human life is to reach the goal. What is that goal, sir? The goal, we call it as salvation or reuniting with the God. But which is the angels and devas and gods cannot achieve. Even devas and the angels, they have to take the form of human being and then do this spiritualism and go into salvation. They have to reborn as human beings and go for the spiritual path. So that is the greatness of we having a human body. So let us not waste our human body for mundane life. Now, the human life, we have a physical plane and a spiritual plane. We have a physical plane where we have the knowledge to understand the nature and develop technology and to live in comfort. That is, to make ourselves comfort, we use our knowledge, mind, body, intellectual, and sensory organs, helping in achieving this temporary enjoyment. To achieve the goal, that is the self-realization or merger with God, have to follow some spiritual path. Then the question comes in our mind, sir, I am very comfortable in the physical plane. Why I should go to the spiritual path which I don't know? Is it necessary that I should go? Yes. Being in physical plane, enjoying the mundane life, which is not permanent, and the human body goes to old age, sickness, and death because of frequent conflicts in the mind. These conflicts in the mind comes from various angles, which I'll enumerate later on. Instead of achieving the goal, the body perishes and the purpose of human life is wasted. So we will now go to the psychophysiological part of the human life. What is that? The body and the mind is the product of food what we take, which is controlled by nature. And in the body and mind, there is a focus of light inside, which is called the divine light or the Atman. The mind has got memories, desires, pain, pleasures, happy, unhappy, all opposites, controlled by our five sense organs. These three things will block the identification of the Atman or the bright light the divine light in you. All the indriyas, all the sense organs is pushed outwards, and you will be always seeing the outward world and feeling that that is permanent. No, that is temporary. The permanent is inside you, which we have to focus on that. Now, there are two things. One is called visible enemy and invisible enemy. The visible enemy we can fight with missiles, guns, snipers, sword and whatnot, everything, interplastic missiles and all. The invisible mission, we don't know. The invisible ones that comes in the mind, anger, jealousy, hatredness, anxiety, animosity, all are there in our mind, still lurking into our field. That is making this not able to make us to see the inner divine vision. Now that has to be removed. That has to be cleaned. That results in unhappiness. So unhappiness has got the tranquility, loss of tranquility. When there is mind is not tranquil, then you will not be able to recognize which is right, which is wrong. So you tend to go into the wrong pattern of life. Now, as I already told you, we can fight visible enemies, but to fight and eradicate the invisible enemies, we need the help. We need somebody help. Once we know the defect or the invisible enemies again, that is, a person is able to say, I am getting frequently angry, I am feeling jealousy, I am having hatredness, I am having animosity, I had to control that, I had to perish all those things. Then the second line, the second divine touch touches you. The first divine touch, you have been born as a human body. The second divine touch is making you to understand, or you have detected the defects, will be there to go into the path of spiritualism. Then only you will all go to the spiritualism. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're all in the spiritual line now. That means the divine God has touched you. By the grace of God, you are attending the satsang, which is now putting you into spiritualism. All people cannot go into spiritualism. All people cannot go to satsang. All people cannot go and meet Swamiji or yogis. They have to be destined. The word we use, the destined, that is the divine touch which God has given to all of you. And we are very happy that we are joined together in the satsang. Now, we have some other things to go. First, sir, you said spiritualism is important because we have to reach the goal. Now, not to reach the goal, what is that we should do? So, there are some rules and regulations to go into the spiritualism. Simply, you cannot go and walk in and go across the counter and buy an iPhone of Apple or Samsung or something. I want something to purchase. No, it has to be inculcated in your own self. So how to be that, sir? How to do that? Then they say that first is to be sattvic. So what is sattvic? There is a lot of things. Sattvic is there, Rajasic is there, Tamasic is there. That's again a big chapter that we will discuss it some other day when time permits. So sattvic is to be a good, be a nice human being, treat other human being as a human being. Selfless service, helping, controlling all bad ideas, creating in mind. Don't put the seed of bad things in your mind. Anger. So we call it as Nitya Amitya Vasta Viveka. That comes in Sanskrit. Dispassion for the enjoyable objects. This is too much for us to learn, but there are quite elderly people there, they can understand. So just to be more a sattvic and be a nice human being to human being, helpful, selfless service, all these things can make you to go into the spiritual life. Then the last thing is restraint of mind, the Dhamma, then restore of the body's senses, withdrawal from other activities. Other activities, I mean, which is not unwanted. So don't unnecessarily waste your time in other activities. We'll put you into this in the path of spiritual life. then that is the time where the God again comes and touches you. That is the divine touch. That is, from the forest, you have come into the by lane by following the spiritual line. When you have come to the spiritual line, you have to come to the main highway. When you have to come to the main highway, you need somebody to guide you that there is a main road there. So who is that? That divine touch is none other than our Guru. Guru comes there to guide us, and none other than Sri Yogi Ram Suratkal Babaji, or Sharda Peter Guruji, or Satya Sai Baba, or Shirdi Baba. Any Guru, if you are in that spiritual line, the third divine touch from the God will make you to go near the Guru. So, first divine touch is to be born as human being. Second touch is to make you to go into the spiritual line. The third divine touch is again comes to you by the form of a Guru. So we say that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. So Guru outbeats everything. Even Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, everything is being overruled. Just worship the Guru. Guru will take you to the salvation. So the third touch, which I already told you, is because of the Guru, will take you further and follow it. And you as a student or as a devotee, you should have Nishchala Bhakti, that is intense faith in his, and you should follow his instructions meticulously. You should not have any dvanda in your mind that he is teaching something wrong or he is not good. No. Once a Guru says jump, finished, you have to jump. That must be your motto. So Guru's blessings should be always there, and he is the one who dispenses darkness and take you to the light or enlightenment. Now, as you all attending this satsang, that means you are already from the darkness to the light. You have come from the darkness to the light. So now we have to understand the presence of Guru Sri Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Babaji in you itself. We presume and assume that he is with us together hearing this lecture. Now, as I already told you about the basic Guru Tattva principles, now I would planning to go to my experiences in a very short period. I had 4 occasions of meeting the Swamiji, and I have forgotten the dates and time, but I had written it in my diary, but I don't know. I didn't have the time to search. Not only the time, I was a bit lazy in searching it. The first one was in the year 84-85. So the story goes that my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law had come from Bangalore, and they wanted to go to Tiruvannamalai and have darshan of Lord Shiva. So I had one priest there, and I requested him to book a room for us. And afternoon I drove from Chennai to Tiruvannamalai along with my wife, my son, my daughters, and my mother-in-law, and my nephew. And all of us, we reached about in the evening, and we were housed in a good room. And the ladies joined the Shastrigal's house, and they gave a good dinner, and we were blessed to go and see and have darshan of the Lord Shiva. We did Abhishekam and all that. My mother-in-law had somehow got an information that there is one mystic miracle man sitting in Tiruvannamalai, and we should go and see him. But I was not very bent upon, because time was consuming, and I was the only driver, and the car was very old Ambassador, and I was supposed to drive back to Chennai, and I was scared about the headlights and driving in the night time. But anyhow, my wife and my mother-in-law were very much bent upon. So they said they will go and see this mystic man. And they called us. I said, we are not interested to come. We are not interested to come and see anything. You please go and come. Within 15 minutes, we should be back. And we had to drive back to Chennai. So you please go. So these 2 ladies went there. And as my wife entered the room, it's a small room near the temple with a gate, wicket gate, and Baba was sitting. It seems behind that there was a room door locked. So, moment my wife and my mother went, he immediately asked, "Where is Dr. Ramesh? Fetch him immediately." So the priest who had accompanied my wife and my mother-in-law, he ran back and to the car and said, "Sir, the man, mystic man, the Swamiji is calling." Meanwhile, in the car, we were resetting the audio system, and these boys and girls were hearing this Agni Nakshatra's music. Then they said, I said, why you to trouble him? You finish the deal and finish the prasad, get the prasadam, we'll finish it off. No, sir, he wants you to come. So with great reluctance, I got down from the car and asked my elder daughter also, Shalini, to come, and all of us got down. As I got down, I saw an old lady was selling guava fruits. And something struck to me. He said, well, what is the cost? She said something. He said, you give me the whole bag, the whole full. I said, okay, sir, how much? I said, 10 rupees or 15 rupees. She said, I gave that amount and took it, the whole thing, and tied in that, the bag and the kerchief, and we walked. We walked the lane and we went to that place. Sir, I was literally taken aback, sir. Surprised. I think there were a lot of dogs going around here and there. The wicket gate was opened, and I saw Swamiji Baba was sitting on a small steps, the door steps, and gents were sitting on one side, ladies were all sitting one side. The dog was roaming here and there. As I entered, he waved his hand, "Dr. Ramesh, come in." I was literally taken back. I don't know. How did he know my name? I don't know. And my wife also didn't know. As she was entering, he said, "Go and fetch Dr. Ramesh." So we were literally shaken. Then I went and prostrated to him, did namaskaram. Since it was a few people were sitting in the line, I started going back and sitting in the last. He called me, no, you come. Then he made me sit just beside me, and I submitted the fruits. You have brought these fruits for me. And he turned back and opened the door. Lot of fruits were there in that room, bananas, apples, whatnot. And this fruit also was put there. Then he summoned a person there, fed them all tea. Then my mother is a bit orthodox, so she didn't want to take. But I don't know how Guruji came to know. He said, minus one tea, my mother will not take tea, so rest of them you give them tea. So we all took tea. Then slowly people started dispersing. They were telling some things. Then my turn came. Then I told Baba, I'm very thankful to you for having blessed us. We are all grateful to you, Swami. And we are planning to go back to Chennai. And because of time factor, I was in haste to go back. I didn't deliberately avoid you, sir, I said. He laughed at me and he said, Baba, you should bless us. Then he took my hand and gave such a shaking hand, He lifted my hand up and down and shake. My father will bless you. My father will bless you. My father will bless you. Then I said, Baba, we all come from this place. We have got a house. We are staying in Adyar. And I request your blessings to be. Then he asked my son, my daughter, 2 daughters, where they are studying. And they said that they are studying in Shankara School in Adyar, which is affiliated to Kanchi Mutt. And immediately he said, you should all go and meet Swamiji. Have you met Paramacharya? Then I said, I had the pleasure of meeting Paramacharya only once, Swamiji. But these children have met only the present pontiff of Mutt, and we need your blessings. And he said, yes, take my blessing. My father's blessings are there for you. Then he asked about our family God. And I told we worship Tirupati Devasthanam and all that. And then he also said, we bless you. My father blesses you all. Then we came back. That was my first visit to him. The second visit, after 6 months later, one of my relatives from Bangalore wanted to go to Tiruvannamalai. So we all had a tempo traveler and we all went. After having darshan of the Lord Shiva and Parvati, I was bent upon going and meeting this mystic man, the Basiri Baba, Ram Suratkal Babaji. So we went to the same place. Then we started walking in. As these ladies went in, as I was walking, he's calling from there, Dr. Ramesh, come, come, he said. I went inside. He inquired, how is my daughter Shalini, Malini, Karthik, and all my names. By name, he's called everything, he told. And I told Baba, we have come along with some guests and we need your blessings. Then he blessed all. My father will bless you, he said. And again, he offered a tea. But since it was very fastly, we had to come. I said, we'll utilize it. We came to seek your blessings. And so he said, my father's blessings are there for you. Then we returned back. That was of the second visit to him. Again, on the third visit, that is a year later, I was feeling a little bored and all. Continuous work in my hospital and my clinic. So myself, my wife, and my children wanted to go to Tiruvannamalai. So we drove straight to Tiruvannamalai. And after going to Tiruvannamalai, our first priority was to have darshan of the Babaji. So, but somehow we finished off our darshan of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and then we came back to the ashram. That is the room which we were staying, and it was opened. And the moment we went, again he recognized me and said, Dr. Ramesh, come. And we all went, myself, my wife, my son, my daughter, all of us were sitting. Then somehow I was talking to him on various aspects of philosophy and all that. Then I asked Babaji, why don't you come to Chennai? He laughed and said, my father is here with me. If my father, I'm here with you, I'm with my father, he said. Sir, Swamiji, you can come. You should come and pay a visit to our house. I was so pestering him. He said, okay, when my father permits, I will come to your place. Then I said, Baba, Swamiji, I had to give you something, dakshina. No, this poor beggar doesn't need anything. Poor beggar doesn't need anything. No, Baba, you're not a beggar, you are a great person. You have to bless all of us. No, my father will bless you, Baba, but you should accept this kanika, which as a humble thing we are giving to you. Then he said, okay, then you do one thing. You whatever you want to give the kanike, you put it in a cloth and keep it in your puja room. And he narrated, he picturized the puja room of my house. He said the central thing there is the mandasanam, where the God's photos are, God's idols are there. You have a big Abhinav Vidyatirtha photo, Swamiji is there. On the right side, there is Sai Baba statue is there. On the left side, you have Bharati Tirtha Swamiji photo is there. So he started enumerating all the photos in an order. Ganapati is there, Lakshmi is there, and Shiva is there, Muruga is there, all photos. Then he came down and then he said, there is the Padike of Abhinav Vidyatirtha Swamiji's Padike is there. You keep that Kanike there, and when I want, I will call you. And he said, I said, okay, Babaji, okay, Swamiji, I'll do that. Then I prostrated to him, and he lifted my hand, gave a big shake, and said, my father will bless you for all prosperity, happiness. He blessed, my father will bless you, he said, and I came out. Then when in the car, I took my hand and took all my money, which is kept in my pocket, and put it in a kerchief, tied. I didn't know how much money is it, sir. I don't know how much money I had carried. I had forgotten. So all the money which I had, I put it in the kerchief and tied it and put it in the dashboard. Then started driving. Then I thought, what is this? I have put all the money. If suppose if the petrol is not there, then how to put petrol or how to get coffee, tiffin, and all that. But anyhow, Baba saved us. There was a lot of petrol in the tank, and we reached our place. And then we bought that this thing, the cloth, put some manjal into it, and kept it in the padaka of the Abhinav Vidyatirtha Swamiji's in the puja room. That's all, sir. That was the visit of the third instance. After that, for 5 years, I could not go to Tiruvannamalai at all for various reasons. And not only that, my father became ill. We have to take care of him. So we didn't have time to leave the city. And not only that, busy in the office administration, clinic, taking care of father. Also, this 5 years rolled down and we couldn't think of Tiruvannamalai or Vijay Baba, anything. Not even, we couldn't even go to Sringeri also. Then suddenly, the fourth instance, that is the ashram, the present ashram was under construction. And my brother, cousin brother, who is a very big industrialist, none other than his name is Srinivas Rao, an industrialist, and he was running a beautiful TV company called Solidaire and the switchgears company. And he was the Takar of the Mylapore Kapalishwara temple. And so in his regime, he did Kumbhabhishekam. And so he had seeked the blessings of Swamiji Yogi Ram Surat Babaji. And he had blessed him that the function will go very well. And so he came to my house. At that time, I had lost my father. I was in a state of sort of a depression. And he came to me and said, why not we go to Tiruvannamalai and see Baba and come back? And I said, okay. Then as I was about to sit in his new car, my wife shouted from the house that please take the money which you have kept it in front of Swami, in the Padaka of Vidyatirtha Swamiji. Please take it and give it to him. So I came back, washed my legs and hands, and with folded hands, I took the bundle of the cloth. I didn't know how much money was that, and retightened it and took it and kept it in my hand and put it into my pocket. And then we drove to Tiruvannamalai. While driving to Tiruvannamalai, my cousin was telling all about the philosophy of Ramana and all about his experiences in spiritual line. He was also at the car of the Arulmiga, that Murugar temple. So he was talking about all the temple administration and all that. And then we reached the Tiruvannamalai. We had a quick darshan of the deities of Lord Shiva and Parvati and all. Then we went to the ashram of Yogi Ram Suratkal Ashram Baba. There, as we entered, he was knowing that some judge, I don't know, he's forgot his name, I think Mr. Armugam or somebody. So they received us and then they straight away took us to the dining hall. Then we said, we first want to meet the Babaji and then later on we'll go for the lunch. Then Baba came and so my brother prostrated, we all prostrated to him. There was bhajans like this, bhajans were going on. Then Baba came and then my brother took a big plate and put all the fruits, flowers and all that. And he had bought something round about 50,000 to 60,000 rupees fresh notes and kept it and wanted to give donation to the building of this ashram. So the moment he looked at me and looked at him and he said, Baba, wow, my father will bless you both. Then he called somebody from the inside and asked him to take this and issue a receipt for him. Then my brother was telling all about the temple construction work and all that. After that, he turned to me with timidness and with fear. I said, Baba, I had met you 3 occasions. I know, Dr. Ramesh. He said, yes, Swamiji, thank you. And I couldn't come and meet you for 5 years. I was held up in the house of my father's illness as taking care. Yes, I know, he said. Then my father will bless you. You have done a commendable work. Then, Baba, Swamiji, I have one request. I bought the money which other day you told me to keep it in the puja room, and I have brought it. And now what should I do for this? Is it? Give it. So he took it in his hand. I was able to touch his hand. Then I gave it to him. He took it nicely, and then he put that bundle into his pocket and said, my father will bless you. My father blesses you. My father blesses you. My father blesses you. 3 times he said. And then by the time it has become lunchtime, so he was about to go out. Then as he looked up and turned, he called me again. We were about to leave, he called. Dr. Ramesh, see, will you check my eyes? Swamiji, I am not prepared to come and check you up, but anyhow, I've got, if I get a torchlight, I can see you what is the problem. Then I immediately, one boy bought a torchlight. I had the blessed opportunity to touch his eye, face, eye and all, and examine. And I said, Baba, your father has blessed you everything nicely. There's nothing to be worried about. You have got a very, very immature cataract which doesn't require any surgery. Then immediately said, yes, Dr. Ramesh, people from the other institution had come and said that I had to go for surgery. But now I am able to see and read. Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Baba, you can read. You only need some change of glass, that's all. That we can organize it for you. But at present, I don't think you need any eye surgeries. Then he blessed me. Then he put his hand on my head and said, Father blesses, my father blesses you. My father blesses you. Then we came out. Then we were formed in a queue, standing, and he got into the car because as that he was becoming old. And so he started coming in the car. Then as he neared to me, he rewinded down the glass and looked at me with peering eyes, with piercing sight, blessing me all the way, and said, my father blesses you. Then he drove straight to his place of residence. Then by the time we came out, then we had to go to Ramana Ashram. So Ramana Ashram, Mr. Ramanan was there, whom my brother was knowing him. So there we went there, and then we had our little food from them, and then we returned back. While coming, there was a discussion between me and my brother. Then he said, see, I gave some donation, and Swamiji, Yogi Ram Surat Babaji didn't touch it at all, but he asked his people to come and give a receipt for it. But in your case, he took the kerchief mounted money from your hand and pocketed it. What is the secret, Ramesh? He said. Sir, I don't know, Srinivasu, I don't know what is it. I don't know, I cannot interpret anything. I was waiting for this amount was kept in the puja room for 5 years, that all only under his instruction. And generally, I don't know. I have submitted with dedication, devotion, and respect and love to him. That's all I know. And I don't know how it might be even 300 rupees or 500 rupees or 800 rupees or 2000 rupees. I don't know. At that time, I said, I want to give Kanike. He said, this beggar doesn't need it. I'm a beggar, I don't need it. He said, but still I enforced it. And he said, you put it in a cloth and keep it in the puja room. And he depicted all the puja articles in the room. And he said, you keep it in that area. And I kept it. Now you took me here. Now I given it. That's all I know. I forgot to tell you. After that, when we gave this, Baba said we'll take a photograph. So we all sat. My Baba sat in the center, and I sat on the right, and my brother sat on the left, and the person took the photo. But what happened, we didn't track the photo at all. We came early home, and he had to flew to Delhi for some conference or meeting. Then I was busy. After 10 days, we started recollecting how to collect the photo, but we couldn't trace the photo at all. I don't know what miracle it is, or probably what is it, I don't know. But we couldn't get the photo at all. But still, we have his image and his teachings in our mind. And he has blessed all of us in a very, very nice way. So in the process of this discussion, now I would like to tell one message which you all carry home. You're all devotee of our great sage Yogi Ram Suratkal Baba. The one thing we learned from him is the kindness, passion, and love, and that is very, very important. And he says, now carrying this message is this passion for the enjoyable objects. Throw away your enjoyable. What is essentially, you keep it. If you want to go into the spiritual, keep what is essential, what is that useful to you for your livelihood. Second, restrain from mind, dhamma we call it, restrain. That more important is, I would suggest is, temptation to do anything bad or you are angry, just delay it for 24 hours. So tempted to do anything bad, you are trying to do something bad, or you are angry, just delay it for 24 hours. Don't react to it. And always be a witness to the life drama. Don't react. Never respond in haste. Never respond in haste. Doing good, do it immediately. Never respond in haste. Doing good, do it immediately. Anger leads to hatred, and hatred is negative. Develop no hatred towards anybody. So these are all the things which will put you into the spiritual life. Should have human compassion. Consider people just like old friends. When you meet a people, just think that he's an old friend. Say hello to him. Smile to him. So these 6 messages, if you pursue in this or understand this, you can have into a spiritual life. So the divine touch will be there. Divine touch 1 you have already got. Divine touch 2 already got. Divine touch you being born as a human being. Divine touch 2 where you have got into the spiritual line of satsang. Divine 3 you are already got it by the divine touch of the Guru Sri Ram Suratkal Babaji, and go in for the salvation or the joining with the Almighty. So with this, I hope you all enjoyed my small spiritual understanding, which I bow down with respects to all of you. I bow down to my Guru Yogi Sri Ram Suratkal Babaji for having given me this knowledge of spiritualism to deliver to the elite group of people of you. Har Har Mahadev. Thank you very much, Vishwanath.
Thank you very much, sir. Yogi Ram Suratkar Kumar. Har Har Mahadev.